Hey budding lawyers, welcome to the podcast. Today we are going to have a chat with Ms. Meenu Padha. Meenu is an advocate practicing in the state of Jammu and Kashmir, and till now we didn't had an advocate from that region in this podcast. So this podcast is going to be interesting. So stay tuned. But before that, I would like to tell you about Unacademy. Unacademy is India's largest education platform, and as you know, the board exam dates have been announced. And if you're preparing for law entrance exams like CLAT, LSAT, Maharashtra CET, etc., then you must surely check out Unacademy. And on Unacademy, you don't have to buy a course, you have to buy a subscription. You can either buy a plus subscription or iconic one. There are many features available in these subscriptions. There is also a one-on-one mentorship program where you can clear your doubts directly with the mentor. Unacademy also conducts some tests with the help of these educators. This month they are going to conduct a Smash It Out week, which is a week-long subject-wise doubt-solving series. And here are some details of the batches which are going to start this month. You can see the educators, features available, and the date of the batch. I hope this helps. All the best for your exams. And yeah, do not forget to use my code to get a special discount. Hey, budding lawyers, welcome to the podcast. And I'm Prasanna Naidu, the host of Budding Lawyers podcast. And today we have with us Miss Meenu Padha, advocate from Jammu and Kashmir, an activist, founder of Masti Ki Pathshala. We'll get into that, what is it, and how it all started. But firstly, welcome to the show, Meenu.
Thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Okay, and thanks for joining us too. And today we are going to talk a lot about your profession, the work you do, and especially about Jammu and Kashmir and stuff. So we haven't had any lawyer from that region, but let's start with your college days. So you have expertise in women and child rights. So was this your area of interest from your college days itself? And if not, then how did it develop? How did you develop your interest?
First of all, thank you so much, Prasanna, for inviting me in your show. Yeah, if I talk about my interest in women and child rights, definitely during my college days, I have, participated in so many programs that, particularly dealt with, because during my college days, I have established a school called Masti Ki Pathshala, a school which is, in which we a number of out of school children are getting education right now. Around 30 children are getting education in Masti Ki Pathshala. So yes, I have an interest from my college days that the vulnerable section of society, for example, we have so many SC communities here in Jammu and Kashmir living in STs, that are Gujjar, Bakarwal, so that live in the rural part of the Jammu and Kashmir. So definitely, I had an interest during my college days in this particular area to uplift the women and to work for the upliftment of women and children, especially. Yeah.
So how does this Masti Ki Pathshala start? Like, did you get any funding from Amir Khan and all?
No, I didn't get any funding. It was started basically. It is in Jammu right now. I have just established Masti Ki Pathshala in the year 2017, when I, along with my brother, gone to an area which is where mostly the people who are, that is a slum area in Jammu, right? So the people mostly are from Bihar and Jharkhand and UP, right? So the children who are getting education in Masti Ki Pathshala are basically from who are involved in rat picking or some kind of child labor. When I went to this area, so I you asked, I try to convince the parents of those children that will you send your children to get education during evening hours, because they are not ready to give them education during morning, because they consider that it is a source of वो दिन में भी कमाते हैं इस तरह से, क्योंकि उनके बच्चे उन्हीं के साथ जाते हैं किसी तरह, they are involved in child labor, so they are the earning members of the family. So I try to convince, but finally they got ready that अपना लड़का तो भेज देंगे, but it was quite, they were considered quite useless to provide education to their girl child, because they said कि नहीं मैडम इसकी तो शादी कर देनी है, तो इसको तो education. Yes, so they always they said कि नहीं इसका तो शादी कर देना, लड़का भेज देंगे, बट लड़की को भेजने का कोई फायदा नहीं है। देन आई सेड कि नहीं प्लीज आप भेजे, यू नो। देन दे that मस्ती की पाठशाला was started with just 2 children at Khushi and Abhinav. They both were siblings, and now around 30 to 35 children who are getting education in Masti ki Pathshala. Basically, it's an informal school, not a formal school actually. But yes, I have collaborated with the government of Jammu and Kashmir that when they will learn how to read, how to write, how to read very basic things like math, science, the very basic problem they will understand, they will be enrolled in the particular class according to their age group. Like if child is a 14 or 15 years of age, then he will be allotted or she will be enrolled in a particular class. Yeah, Jammu and Kashmir government had finally somehow मान गए कि नहीं, they will enroll the children. अगर आप उनको basic education दे देंगे तो they will provide the classes according to their age group. Yes.
So you started with like 2 children alone. Do you still manage the whole thing alone, or many other people are also connected?
I have not started this alone, but with my brother, who is also a lawyer. So Meenu Padha. So I have started with just 2 children, and right now we have, as I said, we have 30 to 35 children who are getting education in Masti ki Pathshala. I won't say that there are so many people who are involved in Masti ki Pathshala, but somehow, like people now in Jammu and Kashmir, most of the youth know that there is one school, one informal school that is running in Jammu by a brother and sister. So people approach me to contribute in the school. Like some of them try to give art and craft classes, and some of them try to give guitar classes. So basically, if I said that, if I said that any particular group has helped me or helping me to continue the school, no, not at all. I along with my brother is running the school by ourselves, by our own pocket. But yes, कुछ बच्चे जो हैं, some of my friends who want to contribute through their particular उनके जो skills हैं, they want to contribute through themselves. तो इस तरह से वो contribute कर देते हैं. लेकिन हाँ, even बहुत सारे districts में, from Kashmir, there are so many people, so many students who approach me that they want to start Masti ki Pathshala in their particular district. For example, in Kashmir, some of them like Anantnag, some have approached me that they want to start this Masti ki Pathshala branch in their Anantnag. And some of the districts of Jammu division also, some people have approached me that they want to start this school in their district. So that is quite, I think I'm glad that people want to start this initiative, and अभी लोगों को पता चल रहा है इस initiative का. तो I think यही सबसे बड़ी जीत है that after अभी J&K में ये लोग इस चीज को बढ़ाना चाहते हैं. तो that is quite, I'm really happy to see these things. Yeah.
That's really great. I mean, how much time did you take, like from 2 students to 30 to reach to 30 students?
Obviously, it was started in the year 2017. Now it's 2022. The most challenging thing was to convince the parents of these children, because they were not ready to provide education to their children. Even I said that there are government schools who do not take any fee. आपसे कोई फी नहीं लेगा, फिर भी आप बच्चों को क्यों नहीं भेजते हैं? तो they said कि नहीं, बच्चा हमारा कमाता है, हमें किसी तरह they are somehow helping their parents. Like जो few of them are involved in डेली वेजेस जो है, तो उनके साथ उनके बच्चे जाते हैं. तो मोस्टली दे थिंक कि ये भी किसी तरह कंट्रीब्यूट कर रहा है फैमिली में. बट व्हेन उनको स्कूल में भेज देंगे तो दे सेड कि नहीं, अगर स्कूल में भेज देंगे तो घर कैसे चलेगा? तो दे ऑलवेज, मैंने देन आई ट्राई टू कन्विंस देम दैट ठीक है, मॉर्निंग में मत भेजें, बट शाम को आप भेज सकते हैं. एंड फाइनली दे कन्विंस्ड. एंड जब 2 बच्चों से स्टार्ट किया तो the family, the siblings who were the 2 students जो जिन्होंने start किया, that Khushi and Abhinav, that were from Bihar. तो उन्होंने start किया. Then जो adjoining घर थे, they also approached me that they also want to enroll their children in Masti ki Pathshala. So I think right now we have 30 to 35 children, as I said. So yeah, I hope soon we will, this Masti ki Pathshala will be set up in other districts of Jammu and Kashmir. I think that will be the biggest achievement for this initiative.
Yeah, that's truly commendable, because usually lawyers have already so many things on their plate, and despite handling your work. You are doing this great work. So yeah, truly commendable. Okay, so back to your college. What did you like the most in your college life?
See, to be honest, I didn't like very much. But yes, when law, when I was in school, I would say when I was in 11th or 12th standard, I always have a dream to become a lawyer. So, yeah, during my first year, there were no law subjects, only law of torts that was, taught in the classes. And when law subjects came to the light, that Indian Penal Code, constitutional law, administrative law, then I feel that we have वो जो feeling कि नहीं, now we are understanding the law, how to implement those laws. तो वो चीज बहुत अच्छी थी. And besides, yes, बहुत सारी चीजें that I try to implement things like there were various I would say there are that time we have a state subject in Jammu and Kashmir that we have to apply for the state subject. Earlier, I was not aware how to apply for that document or something like this. But when I was in second or third year, I'm not able to recall the exact year. But when I was in second or third year of my law, I applied for that, and somehow, in my districts, basically I'm from district Udhampur of Jammu and Kashmir. So in my district, when I applied for this before the tehsil are concerned, so they try to delay things like mostly we see these things in administrative administration and when you apply. But we have Public Service Guarantee Act here in Jammu and Kashmir who says that within 30 days you will get this document. Then I have read somewhere that this Public Service Guarantee Act talks about that you will get the state subject within 30 or 40 days something. When I didn't get this document within 30 to 40 days, then I said that this is my right, and I approached to the Tahsildar, and of course it was a kind of a little achievement, but I would say that was quite. I was quite happy to see that when I applied and I told them this is a law and you are violating this my right. I have to get this document within 30 days, and now it's been 3 months now, and I have applied 3 months back for this document. Until date, I didn't get any document. So they said that okay. So you are talking about public service guarantee. From the that day, Tahsildar issued my document. So it was quite, I was quite happy that day that finally I got my law, my right. I am because knowledge is a powerful thing. I have heard, but that day I implement those things. I implement those law, and finally I get the document in my hand. And that was quite, a happy moment for me during my college days. I was in, I think, third year that time of my law. Yeah.
Yeah, and especially when you do these things when you are in school or college and you get the result, that's truly it feels truly great, because I have been into these things and I think from that such instances only your journey in activism also began, right?
Absolutely. I think when I get the results, no, so I was able. I started the legal awareness camp during my college days when I came to know this domestic violence. I always have a curiosity to learn other laws. Like besides my college study, I always learned this Domestic Violence Act and some other rights. What are the fundamental rights and what are the ambit of those rights? Some basic, very landmark judgments in which Supreme Court has held that right to we have right to life, and right to life is not only based on the right to live only. It includes so many rights. It include it, it is such a wide right. So I started the legal awareness camp during my college days when I was in third year, fourth year. I started this legal awareness camp in the villages because I am a only girl who has done LLB degree from my tehsil. So it was a number of women approached me that even my college day they said that will you आप मेरा case लड़ेंगी, but I said नहीं, I don't have any degree right now, but wait for 2 to 3 years, I will मैं आपका case जरूर लड़ूंगी. And they started approaching me कि आप ऐसा मसला है, क्या किया जाए, and something like that. So I feel very grateful for that because I was the first girl after when I completed my LLB degree. Number of girl who come to me and दीदी मैं भी law करना चाहती हूँ, क्या procedure है, कैसे apply करें and all that. So I feel very very proud because I was first girl in my whole tehsil who have done BLLB. So it was quite happy thing for me. Yeah.
So you did your 5-year course.
Yes, I have done my 5-year BLLB course from the Law School, Jammu University.
Okay, okay. Okay, so after you graduated, you started working into litigation. Where did you start working, or any firm also?
I was passed out in the year 2017, and during 2017-18, I didn't do anything because I was quite confused because I was thinking to do an LLM in I applied for LLM or will go for judiciary or something like that. But in the year 2018, I thought that no, I will go for litigation only, and that is my purpose because as I said, I was the only girl in my whole tehsil who have done LLB. So people approached me and they have so many, मेरे से बहुत सारी उम्मीदें थी क्योंकि नहीं पहले जो I would say कि बहुत सारी जो women थी, they were not approaching the male advocate because some of them feel quite shy that they won't able to उनको बता नहीं पाएंगे कि what is the problem and when I graduated they said कि नहीं मैडम अब we want to file a case and some of them were sexually harassed by even their by own husband or by their in-laws and some of them were the victim of domestic violence of course and there were some child abuse cases also that I came to know. So then I started filing cases on behalf of that women before my tehsil court, that munsif court at munsif level, then district level, then started litigation and right now J&K High Court.
So this is quite disturbing, but even like today itself, I read an article from the Diplomat, I guess. They also had some video snippets where they were talking about women, especially in Kashmir area, in that valley area, where Muslim women are being molested by the militants. Okay, sexually molested. So have you dealt with such cases also?
Yes, I have. Actually, I'm most of my cases are pro bono, and I usually represent the rape victim before courts, rape survivors, I would say, before courts. So yeah, there are so many cases. There are so many disturbing cases. I would say I would quote one of my case that is from my district only, district Udhampur. That is a like village here. That is Madha village, I would say. And what happened in that village, the girl was raped by her brother-in-law when she was just 17. And it is a case of child marriage. So because that family is quite influential financially, so that girl is quite illiterate. I mean, she is not able to, understand things. So what happened that she has been raped by her own brother-in-law and the whole family pressurized her to make relation with her brother-in-law and later when she resist for the same she has been thrown out from the family of her husband and then what happened that the because the family of the accused was quite quite financially stable. So they what they did that in the whole village they declare that girl a prostitute. In front of whole village, a panchayat nama has been passed because the sarpanch of that village was a cousin of that accused. So they declare that girl as a prostitute in a proper panchayat nama, and the words has been used that she's a prostitute, she's involved in their vapar, and she's a rascal. I mean, these kind of words has been used. And most of my cases are some kind of cases in which girl has been harassed, molested, and by their own family, by her own family, or by the neighborhood, or by the people who are very nearby to that girl. So it is quite disturbing that even in this marital rape, I would say a few days back I have written an article on marital rape, and some people have told me on Twitter that you are biased regarding a particular gender. But I would say that you are not aware about so many facts. You cannot say that there are so many women. If you say the data of NCRB or anyone, you would say that बहुत सारी women है और ये केस reported हैं. I would say ये reported हैं. There are so many cases जहाँ women जो है report ही नहीं करती हैं.
Yeah,
So,
that's true.
आप बहुत सारे ऐसे केसेस है. इवन आई केम टू नो कि बहुत सारी ऐसी महिलाओं के, क्योंकि मैं कैंप लगाती रहती हूँ, लीगल अवेयरनेस कैंप, तो आई केम टू नो दैट विमेन जो है दे सेड कि नहीं मैडम ये तो फैमिली, अब शादी हो गई है, इट इज क्वाइट दे ऑलवेज कंसिडर कि पति नहीं करेगा तो कौन करेगा. तो दिस काइंड ऑफ माइंडसेट हैज बीन वो बीच में है. तो आई से कि आई वुड से जो लोग कहते हैं कि मैरिटल रेप को रेप नहीं कंसिडर किया जाए या फिर इस तरह से, बिकॉज इट इज क्वाइट थोड़ा मुश्किल है टू प्रूव दैट केस, जस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ दिस टू रीजन पीपल आर उसको मैरिटल रेप को एक क्राइम कंसीडर करने में वो कर रहे हैं, रोक रहे हैं कि बिकॉज इट इज क्वाइट डिफिकल्ट टू प्रूव दैट केस. एंड सेकेंड वन इज that it will be misused just because of two reasons. ये ऐसा देखो, every crime can be misused, we cannot deny that fact. Just because of these two reasons you cannot support a crime not to declare as a crime. I think this is quite unfortunate that there are so many people who started a drive called hashtag marriage strike. So they have to understand there are so many women um, who are victim of such kind of things. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's an ongoing debate nowadays. That case is also going on, I guess. Okay, so as you told us that you started working actively after 2018, so I guess in 2019 the Article 370 was revoked. So
Yes.
I want to know how your work and the work of lawyers there changed, how the hierarchy of courts and all changed after that happened, and how was it before and after that happened, how is it now? What was the difference?
Obviously, earlier, before abrogation of Article 370, we have our own laws. We have our own local laws, right? So after abrogation, first thing that happened that in every act it has been. आप देखेंगे कि वहाँ लिखा होता है कि this act applied to all over India except the state of Jammu and Kashmir. So that was quite disturbing thing. I mean, हर एक act में it was mentioned. So when I, obviously after the abrogation of Article 370, so most of the acts who are, implemented in the whole through across the country will apply to Jammu and Kashmir on also. And second thing is, we have our own procedural laws. We have our own IPC, I would say, Ranveer Penal Code here, which was, implemented here in Jammu and Kashmir. So ultimately, after the abrogation of Article 370, if I say litigation, definitely we got so many strong law here in Jammu and Kashmir. Jo, before the abrogation of 370, jo हमारे local laws थे, that was not that much strong as compared to the central laws, because we have POXO Act, we have, that was implemented in Jammu and Kashmir after that Kathua case. And even there are so many laws like RTI, Right to Information Act, and there are so many laws that was not that much strong in Jammu and Kashmir. But after the abrogation of Article 370, it has been implemented in Jammu and Kashmir also, and we got that strong laws in J&K also.
Okay, so main thing was implementation of all the laws which were not applicable. I think the many things would have been changed due to that in administration. And also, so was the hierarchy of judiciary also different before Article 370?
Not different. It was the same as we have on the top with the high court, then the district courts, then the of course the municipal level courts. But yes, there are so many things, like we have official language. Our Urdu was official language. Still, it is official language. But we have right now we can use as a Dogri, which is a local language of Jammu division, and then we can use Hindi or English also. But earlier we have only one official language which was used in the district courts of Jammu and Kashmir, that was Urdu. So there are so many things that have been changed after the abrogation of Article 370. Of course, now the practice of Darbar move that has been prevalent in Jammu and Kashmir from so many years, that has been stopped after this thing. So
practice of Darbar what?
That was a Darbar move. That is, there we have two capitals here in Jammu and Kashmir. summer capital is Srinagar, and Jammu is the winter capital. And after every 6 months we have a darbar move, like 6 months जो यहाँ पे जो हमारे एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव वर्क होता है जो जम्मू में होता है, then after 6 months in during summer season जो है वो it transfer to the Kashmir division, Srinagar. So that practice has been stopped, and of course one very minor thing, but now we have a new name of J&K High Court, that is High Court of Jammu, Kashmir and Ladakh. And there are so many things that is still changing. So we have even experienced so many things, like as I said, Urdu was only official language that has been used in the administrative offices and the courts. That was the only language we have used in the.
You were using Urdu in district courts when you were practicing?
Using in the only language that has been used was Urdu mainly.
Okay, so even English was not allowed. Even English
was allowed, but only in high court. Only in high court, not in district level. District level, we have only used main language was the Urdu language. It is an official language, and still we have Urdu is also right now. Also, we have Urdu, English, Dogri. These all are the language that has been used in our courts, district court. But earlier, Urdu was a main language. Even people are used to. अभी भी police station में we have only. जब आप पुलिस के पास FIR रजिस्टर कराने जाते हैं तो they only use for registering of FIR they use Urdu language. They write in Urdu. Then most of the people, because मेरे भी जो father हैं, grandfather हैं, they learned Urdu in their schools as a main subject. So people who are old age, they all can understand, write in Urdu language very well. And yes, of course, हमने जो है we use as a optional subject. But earlier, अगर मैं father की बात करूँ और grandfather की, they all learned Urdu like a basic subject, which was a main subject in Jammu and Kashmir. So yeah, even right now we have so many papers in court, I would say, that has been used in Urdu. Especially the police personnel mostly use Urdu language still here in their documentation.
Okay. So this reminds me of something. So this exodus happened of Kashmiri Pandits from there in the 90s. Are there any cases going on related to this you are aware of or connected to?
Yeah, of course, there are so many cases. Most of the Kashmiri Pandits are settled in Jammu right now. I have so many Kashmiri Pandits friends. In fact, my best friend is also a Kashmiri Pandit. So here in Jammu, they have settled. They are getting some benefits, very basic benefits, because obviously they have, they left their land during 90s. So they have, been allotted some apartments here in Jammu region, in Jammu districts, and so many adjoining areas of Jammu, like Purkhu camp here in Jammu, where most of the Kashmiri Pandits have been allotted the apartments for living, and they are getting free ration and some of the very basic benefits they are getting. And there are so many cases. Few have filed, I would say, I think PIL, so many PILs are also clubbed in, I would say, in Supreme Court also.
Okay, thankfully, I mean, they have got apartments and also that's great there. But I remember a few years ago when I was in Mumbai, people were staying outside railway station in temporary tents. And for like so many months or years, they were staying there. And it like at that time, I didn't even know about these things because it is not talked about the Kashmiri Pandit exodus which happened. It's really very disturbing, and now people are talking, and now people know. If you even a movie is going to be released, the Kashmir Files. So
as you said about the Kashmir Files, one of my friends who have also part, who is also a Dogra from Jammu, that is Saurabh Verma. So he is also a part of that movie. So I think now people are openly talking about this exodus. Earlier it was quite पहले लोग इस तरह से नहीं बात करते थे जैसे आप करते हैं. Openly, some of them are creating movies, documentaries, and all that, and writing articles on that issue. I think now it is not that much. I would say अभी इतना वो नहीं है, but अर्लियर इट वाज क्वाइट डिस्टर्बिंग कि आप इस इशू पे भी बात करते हैं तो आप एक आप कहीं ना कहीं आप पे क्वेश्चन मार्क हो जाता है या आप पे बहुत सारे सवाल उठने लगते हैं. So I think Kashmiri Pandits, I would say, no doubt they have faced a lot. Obviously, during 90s, they have been, अपनी ही जगह से बेदखल कर दिया गया. But अब we are, some of them, some of my friends who are excel in their life, I would say that some are settled in Delhi and JNK में भी जहाँ जम्मू में they are doing commendable work in their field. So I would say I think this is quite बहुत अच्छी बात है कि ये अभी फाइनली गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से भी दे आर गेटिंग बेनिफिट. बट हाँ, वो साइड अपने बलबूते पे भी दे आर डूइंग कमेंडेबल जॉब.
Okay, so let's move on to the next question. I would like to know if you have worked or interned at other places apart from Jammu and Kashmir. Have you gone to other states in India for work or
Yes,
internships?
I have been in Delhi for a very long time, just for a few months, I would say. That time I was being invited, I was associated with an organization and we have been invited in Rajya Sabha to meet Mr. Ghulam Nabi Azad, and that was quite, बहुत मेरे को यादगार है वो लम्हा, because it was that time I was doing law actually. I have not practiced somewhere out of JNK, but yes, that time I was doing law and it was वो मेरे लिए बहुत एक यादगार लम्हा है, because that time I first went to Rajya Sabha and I see the parliament, and Rajya Sabha के अंदर I have seen so many leaders were there, like I have seen Madam Sushma Swaraj was sitting there, and Amit Shah was there, and Mr. Narendra Modi, our honorable Prime Minister of India, was there, and we were actually met Mr. Ghulam Nabi Azad at their residence in New Delhi. So it was quite, that was a memorable trip for me. I would say I have been there for I think 2 months in Delhi. So it was a quite memorable trip for me. If you talk about a particular litigation part, I have not practiced except the state of Jammu and Kashmir, except the UT of Jammu and Kashmir, of course. I only practice here, not right now, not anywhere.
Okay, okay. Was this trip organized from your college or you managed it from like somewhere else?
No, that was I think there was some organization. I'm not able to recall the name of the organization. It was Healthy India something, Healthy India, Stronger India something. So it was an organization that has, planned this trip. And when I heard that they are going to, हमें पार्लियामेंट के अंदर ले जाने वाले हैं, and they will, हमें opportunity मिलेगी to meet Mr. Ghulam Nabi Azad and his wife. So definitely वो बहुत अच्छा लगा. And when I heard कि नहीं, we will sit in Rajya Sabha and we'll experience how the proceedings कैसे चलती हैं राज्य सभा में. I was doing law and मेरा बहुत interest रहता था इस तरह की चीजों में, to see all these things, to involve on the thing. Even during my college days, I was associated with so many organizations who are particularly working for this women and child rights issues. So during my college days, सही में वो it was कि I have to do something exceptional. मेरे को कुछ अलग करना है, not वो regular वाला वो नहीं करना है. I have to do something जो JNK में no doubt बहुत सारे बच्चे आजकल कर रहे हैं, but I have that उसी टाइम से था नहीं, I have to do something जो सब नहीं करते, मुझे थोड़ा हटके करना है. तो that was my college days. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Okay, you have been into litigation for quite a while now, like few years. So would you share any incident from litigating career, usually from the courtrooms, like which was quite funny or which was very quite intense, which taught you something really valuable, something like that?
Yeah, if I not as a litigation career, but there are so many things that दो तीन चीजें I have experienced in my law career जो मेरे लिए काफी exceptional थी. One is that when I was appointed by my own university as a member of the sexual harassment committee, the cash committee. So that was quite memorable because I was declared as an alumni of my university at that time. And then so many universities, like right now, recently I have been appointed the member of SMBDU, that is Sri Mata Vaishno Devi University, Katra. I have been appointed as a member of their sexual harassment committee, I think that was quite memorable, because when your own university appoint you and trust you, so that is I think memorable moment for me. And second one was recently I met with Honorable Lieutenant Governor of Jammu and Kashmir, Mr. Manoj Sinha, and I submitted a memorandum to him. First of all, the main issue was to reconstitute, of course, the Women Commission in Jammu and Kashmir, because after the abrogation of Article 370, a lot of commissions has been dissolved in Jammu and Kashmir after this abrogation, and now the Women Commission is going to set up again in Jammu and Kashmir, and that approval has came by the LG. That was quite happy moment for me. And second was the second thing was the reconstitution of child welfare committees in Jammu and Kashmir, because the tenure of the child welfare committees in Jammu and Kashmir is only 2 years under Juvenile Justice Act. Even in the whole of India, it is only 2 years. The tenure is 2 years. But right now, what happened in this COVID time, the social welfare department that deals with these things, comes under Juvenile Justice Act, that has extended the period of 1 year of these committees, which was unconstitutional, of course. And then I met Mr. Lieutenant Governor of Jammu and Kashmir, and I, along with my brother Meenu Padha, and we submitted a memorandum that this is unconstitutional, of course, to extend the period of child welfare committees in Jammu and Kashmir. He on the spot accepted this demand and called the secretary concerned and ordered for the fresh constitution of the child welfare committees in whole Jammu and Kashmir. I think that was quite a memorable movement, because I consider that law is not confined to the courtroom only. When you can use your education in anything, even a simple legal awareness camp, if you conduct a legal awareness camp in a particular village, I think that is also a part of your litigation career. That is also part of your degree. That is also part of your law education. So I think ये बहुत I would say कि law की यही सबसे खूबसूरत बात है, सबसे अच्छी बात है कि we can use our knowledge in so many ways. हम अपना अगर मेरे एजुकेशन से, मेरी नॉलेज से अगर JNK में रिकॉन्स्टिट्यूट हो रही हैं चाइल्ड वेलफेयर कमेटी, आई थिंक ये भी मेरे लिए बहुत बड़ी बात है कि पूरे JNK में रिकॉन्स्टिट्यूट हो रही है. और there are so many things we can, recently I'm trying to bring few new guidelines, because as we know that POSH Act अब थोड़ा gender neutral हो गया. I'm trying to bring few new guidelines in the University of Jammu, because we have old guidelines जो time से चलती आ रही हैं, and I am working on drafting of the new guidelines that I will recommend. So I think there are so many things that we can do after doing law. That is not particular to litigation only. There are so many things that we can do. This is the best part of doing a LLB degree. I think.
Yeah,
it is not
so many things. We can also do a podcast like I'm doing.
Absolutely.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. So, Meenu, if you want to pick one incident from your whole career till now, which will you choose as the most memorable one?
As I told you already, that I would say when your alma mater, consider you for something, that was the most memorable thing. And when I was in college, I was not aware that they will consider me for such a prestigious post, and they appointed me. The Vice Chancellor has appointed me for this post as a member of the committee who deals with the sexual harassment cases in the Jammu University. I think this is one of the most memorable moments. Right now, I have been appointed by SMBDU also, but appointed by my own university is quite memorable thing for me. Yeah.
Okay, I mean, I can go on chatting with you. I'm enjoying it, but we have to stick to a timeline. So let's end this episode here. Thanks, Meenu, for this great conversation and sharing all your experiences from JNK, practicing as a lawyer there and stuff. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Prasanna. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, and thank you so much for listening to this podcast. If you like this episode, do check out our other episodes available here and follow us here so that you don't miss out any episode.